I've had enough. Elon Musk reaches final straw with DEM's attacks, guys. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's jump into it. Let's see what this takes us, guys.
Advisor Elon Musk has faced repeated and very personal attacks since he's teamed up with President Trump and started Doge. The left has called him everything from a con man to an oligarch, and even worse than that.
Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. And people don't trust him.
Okay. Which courts? Because from what we're finding out pretty recently is that a gigantic amount of courts are basically run like activist social justice chambers, guys, for the most part. But either way.
Jamal Bowman saying someone's incompetent in their position. Didn't you lose your seat to George Latimer? Oh, yeah, that happened. Well, now Musk says he is done with this, and he shot back at Bowman's comments, posting, "I've had enough, lawsuit inbound." And Attorney General Pam Bondi also sending a warning to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett after this remark.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons.
Okay.
Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
This is
taken down. And taken down in what manner? Jasmine Crockett. Oh, my God. I'm not even sure they hear themselves, guys. I'm not even sure.
To see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
This is domestic. And Maria, now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday.
She said down, the different context.
Attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. Yet she turns and says, "Oh, I'm not calling for violence." Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk.
Okay, let me just be a quick cultural translator in this context here, because it's one country, but let's just say different languages are spoken occasionally, right? Now, basically, what she said by taking down is she wants to see him destroyed. There's no physical, violent connotation in the statement itself, but I can imagine if you may not, let's say, understand the culture in that context, you may perceive it as taken out. Based off how Pam Bondi here just responded here. I think that's the case in this context, but still the same thing. Like you want to see someone in misery. Why? For your birthday present is to see someone in complete misery, guys. That's wild. That's how I took it. I took it literally how she said it, right? But I understand context and cultural context matters at some times here, guys.
Tread very carefully because nothing will happen to Elon Musk.
Paul, as I look at this, Jasmine Crockett insisted, she was not encouraging any sort of violence. I still don't know why you would make a remark like that. But putting her aside and looking broadly at what's happening with Tesla, the FBI, I was looking at their website about what domestic is. You can see this when you intend to intimidate and coerce the civilian population, influence the policy of government. Several of these acts clearly are intended to do just that.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
problem is we don't have a domestic law at the federal level because in the world federally, you have to have a connection to a foreign power. So when we say a domestic incident, it can be without actually charging it. And that's why something like, I think it's about up to 35 states have laws so that they can do just that. You remember the Waukesha parade, the Christmas parade, the guy drove through a parade? Everybody wanted that to be. There's not a federal statute that's on point. And the reason for that is that on the right, the fear is that it would be weaponized against the right. And
it will, 100%.
That's generally the debate you see in.
But so will the Alien Enemies Act. I'm telling you. Careful about setting precedents, guys.
Legal circles. So that's just sort of the framework. But what you can do is, number one, follow the money. And that goes to some of the stuff that goes on these campuses. There's been significant reporting, responsible reporting, that there is Iranian money going into some of these groups that act on campuses. Well, now you have a tie to a foreign nation. Okay, so that's potentially a charged at the federal level. But what you can also do is what Musk is talking about, which is sue. Some of this stuff is blatantly defamatory. It's encouraging violence. In my mind, some of the things that we're seeing in the media, it's extremely irresponsible, and I think Bowman's way over the line.
Totally. And so maybe some sort of civil action, which, Kaylee, you look at this, I mean, the number of people, the voices out there, Ayanna Pressley called him a Nepo baby. You remember the left going nuts. This includes people in the media suggesting he did a salute, which he did not. It was an absolute lie. And Mae Musk, his mother, said, we need to go after some of these people.
Yeah, I'm not in the business of defaming people regularly on TV, but I certainly would not want to defame the world's richest man who could absolutely bring a lawsuit against you. Right. So it's kind of inexplicable why Democrats are running with this attack. But, the vandalism of Tesla and...
Because they're highly and heavily emotional, right? So they're saying these things. They basically, for the most part, are having, zero amount of self-control, specifically with their mouth. They believe that they are coming from a place of moral superiority. So they have to be right. If you don't think I'm right, then you're wrong. And if you're wrong, then I'm a fight against because you don't think like I think. That's basically why they're saying and doing these things. That's it, purely.
General, the attacks, the constant barrage of attacks against Elon Musk, the Democrats' inability to separate the political from the personal is a big reason why they are so unlikable right now. Sometimes a car is just a car. And most Americans look at a Tesla and they're wondering whether to buy one. And they're asking questions like, can I afford to install a charger in my garage? Not, well, is Elon Musk a and should I be supporting his agenda? These are not questions that normal Americans ask themselves. And quite frankly...
Yeah, guys, most Americans cannot afford, financially, to actually even purchase one of these EVs. Because the problem is that once you buy them, you immediately lose value. And I mean immediately. Way more than if it was some type of dinosaur juice vehicle, bro. That's just the reality of the situation here. It's not financially super intelligent, specifically if you don't have the excess expendable, liquidity, let's say, then I wouldn't suggest you jumping into that system, to be honest. But anyway.
We've talked a lot about whether there's regret among independents and moderate voters for supporting Trump. If you are looking at what is happening with Elon Musk and Tesla right now, I cannot think of a single better way to guarantee that people do not regret voting for Trump. Because when you are looking at what is coming from the Democratic Party, voters see chaos, they see rage, and they see violence. This is not a party interested in winning people back, if that is the tactic.
No, because they think the people who voted, who didn't vote on their side are morally reprehensible. That's their belief system. That's just what it is. So why would they try to win back the people that have already left them because their ideology doesn't match their own ideology, basically?
Speaking of someone not separating political and personal, let's bring in Tim Walz. He talked to us about his personal phone, things he does, and now he's saying he doesn't do it anymore. Watch.
On the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. This guy bugs me in a way that is probably unhealthy, and but I have to be careful about being a smart. I was making a joke. These people have no sense of humor. They are the most literal people.
Sandra, that's classic.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't mean it. I was a joke.
I didn't find anything funny about that. In fact, there's nothing funny about...
You just proved him right.
...any leader or member of Congress, as we saw earlier in the segment, wishing and praying on the demise of American people, of American businesses, American stocks, which means American retirement funds. A big mistake on his part, says Ro Khanna, member of the Democrat Party, whose voice should grow louder as we hear more talk like that coming from their party. On Elon Musk, he's incompetent, he's a thief, people don't trust him. According to Jamal Bowman, simple reminder, remember he notoriously pulled the fire alarm in Congress over negotiations over the government shutdown and lost to George Latimer, we should note. But nothing funny about rooting on the demise of people and money and American companies. And it's just not going to work for them to keep that up.
I mean, Marie, I've got to ask you, though, where are the Democratic voices like Ro Khanna? Ro Khanna has categorically condemned this.
He's out there all
Nancy Pelosi,
he's out there all over
Schumer?
the media.
Where are the others?
Here's the problem, though, Sandra.
Where are the others,
with what you said. Elon Musk is standing on stage at CPAC with a chainsaw, making fun of firing federal workers who make $50,000 a year. So, sure, should Tim Walz have made that joke? I don't think so.
I think it was a chainsaw to government spending.
No, he was saying we are taking a chainsaw, we are firing people, these people who cannot now afford health care. They cannot afford to pay their mortgage. These are not just liberal bureaucrats in D.C.
Where was the concern for auto workers who were laid off during the Biden
They are all across the country. And I just will say, Elon has made the personal political. He brought Tesla to the White House. They did an event with Tesla at the White House. And Elon and Trump both have said the worst things about people on X, on the campaign trail, and I don't hear Republicans upset about all of those things.
But should more Democrats condemn Tesla facilities?
Well, of course, Kayleigh, but there's a big difference between Tesla and saying that Elon Musk has very dangerous ideas. He is hurting average Americans. The world's richest man who makes millions from the U.S. government is taking away, elderly people's pensions because he is every single day. I know people who have lost their jobs because of Elon and they cannot pay for childcare now. That is a terrible, and he jokes about it and laughs about it. Let's talk about that.
His dangerous ideas saved 2 people from space who were stranded during the Biden era. So there's that.
Hey, everyone.
We just cut it like that. Oh, listen. Okay, the woman in the pink, I think she needs to be on a lot more because it kind of brings some balance to the conversation, like some much needed balance to the conversation, guys. Keep this in mind. It seems like the right is basically the only ones that are willing to have like this type of conversation. It's intriguing because I think if someone was like, how to explain this here? I think if someone's ideology was that drastic and different, CNN would never house them like Fox does here, guys. I find it interesting how that is even a thing here. I love the debate. I love the back and forth. I love the ability to have varying opinions in the same room, but they kind of cut it short. So that's a little weird, bro. I mean, because it was starting to get juicy, guys. All right, very juicy. But all right, listen, guys. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I definitely would absolutely like for specifically the left to stop speaking in the manner that they are speaking, though. I will say that because it is very incendiary, guys. It is, right? I mean, if Tim Walz acknowledges that there's like a group of people in the United States of America who apparently have no sense of humor, okay, I think the constituents are fine. It's the ones on TV, normally. Right? Like the ones they have no sense of humor. They're looking to pick apart, they're looking to see whatever you say and then say, you know what? This is what this means to me, so that's what it means. That's what sometimes, some of these videos you guys send me, some of the times that's exactly what they're doing. They're just trying to find this thing in the statement that has nothing to do with it, but in this literal context. The left is absolutely going overboard with all of the speech that they're doing, the same speech that ended up, with a bullet flying towards, the man's ears, guys. You get what I mean here? But either way, they need to stop, obviously. I'll catch you guys later.